The National Women's History Museum dealt a huge blow to the transgender movement, and they don't even know it, and neither do the pro-trans people. So what am I talking about? The National Women's History Museum featured 3 biological men on their website. But here's the thing, these men pretending to be women haven't achieved anything all that special. One got elected to political office, another was appointed to work in the government, and the other is an advocate for people who have HIV like he does. You know, that disease that mostly gay men somehow get. She has it and should be celebrated for talking about it. These are the 3 men who were featured on the museum's website. Kind of reminds me of when Bruce Jenner changed his name to Caitlyn and was immediately chosen to be Glamour's Woman of the Year. Mr. Jenner was a manly man. The year I was born, 1976, he won the Olympic gold medal in the decathlon. He was on the Wheaties box. And I don't know if you know this, but the decathlon is not even an Olympic event for women. Naturally, there's a petition going around to end gender discrimination by making the decathlon a women's event. But what about the other 50,000 genders? What are they supposed to do? Well, as luck would have it, I have a solution. For the women decathlon hopefuls, just say you're trans and compete against the men. And because there is no difference between men and women, or so we're told, maybe you can win. I'm sure a woman can beat all those men. I mean, didn't a woman already win it in 1976? Whether you're a man or a woman, a conservative or a liberal, or an actress pretending to be an actor, you know that men are physically stronger than women. And in sports, a woman who gets a sex change operation doesn't all of a sudden know how to throw a football. It's why the transgender athlete problem is a one-way street. There are no trans men who are dominating biological males in sports. The fact of the matter is that women are losing out. They can't compete with men when they claim to be men. And when a man claims to be a woman, he dominates. I'll tell you what I find sad in all of this is that women who think they're the same as men don't understand just how special they are. You can carry and birth another human being. That's a superpower that men can't even fathom. I've bragged about dropping a large deuce before. My wife, she gave birth to a 10-pound baby. Naturally, I might add. I can't even begin to understand how difficult that must have been. Just watching it happen was almost too much for me. It really is sad when men pretending to be women are recognized as being better than actual women. But get this, their whole argument that trans women are real women has been busted by the National Women's History Museum, and they don't even know it. Andrea Jenkins is being celebrated for getting elected to public office. That's it. Has a real woman not ever done that before or something? The National Women's History Museum doesn't realize this, but by celebrating Jenkins, they're recognizing that trans women are not real women. Think about it. You can't believe that trans women are real women and also celebrate this real woman for getting elected to the Minneapolis City Council. That's hardly any kind of achievement real women are being celebrated for by the National Women's History Museum. The mere fact that the museum celebrates Jenkins for such a minor achievement speaks volumes. I bet the other women on the city council in Minneapolis won't ever be featured by the museum. And it sure is a shame when a woman has to finally shave her head due to male pattern balding. Look, a man who thinks he's a woman is just that, a man who thinks he's a woman. And that's okay if that's what you want to do. I'm okay with you getting to choose how you live your life. But you don't get to choose how I live mine. And you don't get to choose the words I use. Trans women are not real women. Because if they were, the word trans would never be used. The gender ideologists have tried so hard to redefine what the word woman means that many women are scared to speak the truth. They have to go along, or like J.K. Rowling, you'll get canceled. Or if you're a guy who doesn't watch the WNBA, they call you a sexist, even though they don't watch the games either. I see Facebook posts like this all the time. LeBron gets paid more than the entirety of the WNBA, which is true. But the part they always conveniently leave out is that the WNBA loses about $10 million a season. Realistically, these women should be paying to play like I had to when I played in the men's basketball league on Tuesday nights. Wait, I got an idea. You know what would get the WNBA more fans? Michelle Jordan and Denise Rodman? Or maybe Charlotte Barkley and Shanice O'Neal? Maybe the WNBA needs some real women. Serena Williams, the greatest women's tennis player in history, is retiring and recently wrote this. "Believe me, I never wanted to have to choose between tennis and a family. I don't think it's fair. If I were a guy, I wouldn't be writing this because I'd be out there playing and winning while my wife was doing the physical labor of expanding our family." Serena is almost 41 years old and is now worth $250 million. But it's unfair that she's the only one who can give birth in the family. The patriarchy must be holding her back. Of course, if men could actually have babies like many Democrats pretend is the case, she wouldn't have this problem. Now, I will say she's right. If she didn't want to have more babies, she could play tennis longer. But who cares? If I didn't have kids, I could play golf after work more often or drive a sports car. If I hadn't wanted to expand my family, my life would be very different. And I'm a man, so there's no one or nothing I get to blame. I really am sad for the times we're living in. A real woman like Serena Williams can dominate at the highest level of tennis and feel bad that she can't play well into her 40s because she thinks it's unfair that bearing children is her responsibility, while a dude can pretend to be a woman and society is forced to celebrate his very minor achievements. We sure do have things mixed up. Not only should Serena be celebrated for being the greatest female tennis player of all time, she should also be celebrated for her dedication to creating and raising her family. And a dude who pretends to be a woman that got elected to a city council, well, he'll soon likely be forgotten. Now let's thank the National Women's History Museum for busting the myth that trans women are real women. They're not. And that's the simple truth. Hey guys, thanks for watching. And if you all want to support this channel, check out the links in the description and let's keep putting some common sense back into the great debate.